At the height of Europe's imperial expansion in the late 19th century, a sometime British diplomat, Arabist, and horse breeder named Wilfrid Scawen Blunt published perhaps the first truly global account of modern Islam. A friend and advisor of Lord Randolph Churchill's, who subsequently went on to advise Lord Randolph's more famous son, Winston, Blunt was nevertheless one of the great critics of imperialism in his time. His book, called The Future of Islam, initially took the form of 2 essays in the Fortnightly Review of 1881 to appear as a single volume the year after. Before turning to his argument, let us consider Blunt's very unusual title for the period in which he wrote. It is not just that he used Islam, rather than the more commonplace term of the time, Mohammedanism, as being a more authentic one, but by attributing a future to Islam, he also made it into a changing historical subject, rather than understanding it as a set of unchanging doctrines. Yet Blunt continued to use the terms Mohammedan and Mohammedanism in his book, where they named those faithful precisely to a set of unchanging beliefs and practices that could familiarly be described as a religion in the modern Christian sense of the term. Islam, on the other hand, he used in referring to a new and more expansive entity, a kind of historical structure in which religion was subordinated to varying sociological factors like demography, cartography, and the profane kind of politics they made possible. This is why his book opens with a census of pilgrims in Mecca and goes on to estimate the numbers of Muslims in different parts of the world. This suggested to Blunt that Islam's greatest redoubts, as well as the places where Mohammedanism continued to augment its numbers, were located in India, the Malay archipelago, and tropical Africa. It was in these places, mostly under colonial rule, that he thought Islam had a future. But this also meant that Islam was more closely tied up with Britain and Holland, at least in demographic and cartographic terms, than with any other power, including the Ottomans who claimed the caliphate. The fact that Britain possessed more Muslim subjects than the latter even became something of a fixation for its proconsuls and prime ministers, who routinely described their empire as the world's greatest Mohammedan power. By displacing the ritual legitimacy of the Ottomans with a demographic one, they demonstrated the importance of sociological thinking in the modern understanding of Islam. Even more important was the fact that Islam's global dispersal was comparable only to that of the British Empire in its discontinuous and difficult-to-defend geography. It could not, therefore, be aligned with the geographically contiguous empires of the past, in which the Ottomans, like the Habsburgs and Romanovs, belonged.